I'm gonna do my top list of masculine fragrances, which should automatically have an asterisk mark to it because honestly, that title is gonna be a little bit bullshit because I don't wear a lot of super masculine fragrances. Sometimes I do go for sort of like a bit of a vibe, you know what I mean? But in general, I don't wear a lot of super masculine fragrances. So take this list as just a suggestion. If you know the kind of fragrances that I like, and just add some, because I generally like sweet fragrances. I guess if anyone actually watches my YouTube for fragrances. Um, so just fragrances with at least a little bit of a masculine touch. How about that, right? So let's start off with this. And I wrote a list because I'm sure I'll forget since it's late. So saying that, of course, nothing like Fahrenheit is going to be on this list because Fahrenheit is totally not me. So don't expect anything like Fahrenheit, dude. But let's get into some like sort of fresh fragrances that I might wear that would have a masculine touch. So of course there's Aventus, which even that even I don't really wear even Aventus anymore. I'm pretty much over Aventus. And for what it's worth, if you were wondering about that Mont Blanc Explorer, yes, I agree with everyone else. It does smell like Aventus. But anyway, Aventus is a pretty manly fragrance for sure. It's even a little manly for me. It's not really my vibe, but I've gotten a lot of compliments on it, as I'm sure most people have. I find it's not as popular with younger people, I don't think, but generally older people do tend to like it, I feel. Besides that, if you're going for a fresh kind of classic smelling in a clean kind of way, I guess, I think Green Irish Tweed is a probably obvious one that is a masculine fragrance. It smells like a clean, a cliche smelling, good clean smelling dude, right? So Green Irish Tweed, again, not really something that's my sort of vibe, dude, but I think you saw my Pikachu blanket in the back. It is pretty cold here. Not really my kind of vibe, but sometimes I wear it because I have some of it. Another one that I would say is kind of a cliche in a good way, and I've said this before. I think Allure Homme Sport smells like cologne and it smells like a dude wearing cologne. It smells like a dude that is trying to smell good. That's what I think of when I smell Allure Homme Sport. It smells just like a fragrance that a dude you're wearing to smell good, but it smells like a cologne. That's a very weird thing to say, but that's my kind of vibe I get with it. And of course, if you're going for even a little bit more masculine than that, I think the Allure Homme Sport Extreme does have a bit of roughness to it. It is a bit more of a kick to it and is a very good compliment getter. I don't know anything about the reformulation. Whenever I've tried the reformulation, I don't know if it's just because it's like sitting under the Sephora lights or something, but I feel like it does not perform that well. Maybe I just maybe again under the Sephora lights, so it's kind of going bad or something, dude. But there goes my camera, right? I can say in terms of most compliments I've ever gotten in one day, Allure Home Sport Extreme would be up there. What else do I have? If we were thinking about manly, masculine vanillas, I do think Montserrat's Oud Vanille is definitely a pretty rough and even potentially harsh vanilla at the beginning. It definitely has quite a bit of a, again, rough and even potentially off-putting the first little bit of it, right? But again, if you wanted a masculine kind of vanilla, I think that Montserrat's Oud Vanille would be good for that. Another masculine vanilla would be like Initio's Absolute Aphrodisiac. That kind of smells like By Killian's Love, but a manly version of that, I think. And let me just say this, I think I mentioned this in the review too. Just because it kind of irks me a little bit, dude. You know what I mean? So many reviewers get like free shit and like even free bottles. I couldn't even get Initio Perfumes to send me a sample for free, dude. And I saw other reviewers getting full bottles. I saw reviewers that don't really get more views than me, even the same amount, said they got a free bottle, dude. I couldn't even get them to send me a sample, dude. So just to say, dude, I still like your fragrances though, dude. But I'm just saying that I'm pretty salty about that. But I'm still gonna recommend that fragrance. Again, I think that kind of smells like a manly by Killian's Love, actually. For some boozy kind of potentially manly fragrances, and again, all these manly ones are just with an asterisk mark because just like a bit of a, masculine, slightly masculine. But if you're going for like a boozy thing, you know what I mean? I've said this before. I think Straight to Heaven is a very masculine fragrance to me personally. I have been worried that it almost smells old sometimes when I wear it, but I would be interested in trying that out versus straight to heaven extreme more because that is a little bit more vanilla and I think it smells a little bit better. But again, I actually have gotten a good amount of compliments on that. I do consider it a very good vibe fragrance in my opinion. I've only had one girl ever, I think, that said she didn't like it, and again, I would be interested in trying that to see if she likes the extreme though. But in general, yeah, I've gotten compliments on it. I've been kind of surprised. Besides boozy fragrances for that, what did I write down? CH Man Privé, popular one in the community. Everyone probably knows that. Baronda, Baronda. Imagine I'm saying it in a sexy voice. I don't know, dude. Again, that kind of if I had a more disposable income, I'd probably have a big bottle of that. I kind of like that. So that's definitely, I know in my review for that, I said that was a imagine you wear pure malt, which I was actually wearing pure malt today. Imagine you wear pure malt and your older brother or your dad wears Baronda and you bring your girlfriend over and your girlfriend ends up fucking your dad because she has daddy issues or you know what I mean? Something like that. Definitely, definitely a much more older, bit more rough kind of pure malt to me. It's got other facets too when it dries down, but there's that kind of like almost a boozy apple and just whatever. If you've seen my review for it, that's a good one though. I did like that one though. There are other fragrances too, are kind of masculine too, but are definitely a vibe. Definitely at least a vibe, right? For cheap ones that have a masculine touch, I've said before, John Varvatos are great ones. I like Vintage, the regular one. Both have a masculine touch. They're both cheap. And Dark Rebel is a little bit more out there, potentially off-putting, but Dark Rebel is another, John Varvatos does a lot of, kind of masculine kind of fragrances, I think, pretty well. If you were looking for a manly chocolate fragrance, I've said this before, I actually really did like Cacao Terreed. I did try that with a couple of girls, and recently, not it was like actually wait February, so maybe last month, and they liked it. And besides Cacao Terreed, like sort of like that one, and I would say La Vida del Perfumos Amber Chocolate. I know I've talked about that one before. That is a very animalistic, sexy sort of chocolate, right? I I would like a full bottle of that someday eventually. But yeah, if you're in terms of like manly, kind of like masculine, potentially chocolate, I would say that. Tom Ford fragrances, they do a lot of good. I think a lot of Tom Fords, most of them, in my opinion, I feel like run a little bit masculine. Yeah, so like things like Tuscan leather, the new ombre leather, um, amber absolute. You know what I mean? Those all feel a little bit masculine to me, so I would recommend something like that. Of course, people like Oud Wood and stuff like that, but that's not really something I wear. But I guess compliments, yeah. But in general, Tom Ford feels a little bit masculine, and all Tom Fords are at least kind of vibes. And that's what almost kind of makes doing a list like this when I think of masculine fragrances hard because I do think of fragrances sometimes as being a vibe. And maybe just even in itself, when you wear a fragrance, it is a vibe because you're maybe like showing off part of your personality, how you want to smell. And a person in themselves is a vibe. Everyone has their own aesthetic and their own charm to themselves, right? So you could use that term very loosely, I guess, vibe fragrances. But again, if you've watched my videos, I guess maybe you know a little bit what I'm talking about. And I'll end this here with just tobacco fragrances because again, I see a lot of people say that some tobacco fragrances say are kind of masculine, like even Dolce& and Gabbana, the one of my favorite fragrances ever. But do I necessarily think of Dolce& and Gabbana, the one, as a very masculine fragrance? Not really to me, but I've heard that. I've heard people think that it's very manly. I just think it's a good smell. I guess it's a touch masculine, but a lot of sweet tobacco fragrances, to me, I don't really, a lot of fragrances in general, I guess you, man or girl, you can wear whatever, right? So they got to have a little bit of roughness generally for me to at least think they're a bit masculine. But I guess if I were to think of sweet tobacco fragrances as being masculine, I think Herod would be a good one. Um, Spice Bomb Extreme is pretty masculine, I think. And then, of course, I'll go with like, I'd have to go look at all of this, and I have to go with stuff that I would actually wear too, right, dude? Because again, even shit like Aventus, I don't really fucking want to wear it anymore, dude. It's just not fucking me, dude. Unless like I was like with a bunch of super hot like girls who were like, dude, Clayton, if you wear Aventus, we'll fucking blow you right now. It's like, dude, I think one of the things too, you got to remember, and I've said this with compliments. It's kind of like you don't want to be wearing something and feel like you need that validation. Like someone tell me I smell good. You want to know that you smell good, right? So a lot of times when I wear Ventus, it's like I feel like I need a compliment because it's just not really me, dude. So, but besides that, I'll go with my number one masculine fragrance with an asterisk mark, dude. Tobacco vanille. I don't know, dude. I think, and I've said this before, tobacco vanille. I've heard girls say that it's manly. I've heard girls say that they think it's girly. I've heard girls say that they think it smells like a candle. Some girls think it smells like Christmas. Tobacco vanilla again for me is one of those fragrances that when you read reviews online, it is in terms of what people say about it, is can be polarizing in that sense. But just like reviews online though, most people tend to like it, dude. And I know I'm in that camp of I think tobacco vanilla smells fucking awesome. I love how I smell. I wore tobacco vanilla yesterday, dude, and a girl told me she thought I smelled clean actually. So she just thought I smelled good and I smelled really clean. Maybe it was like I was wearing, I just washed my shirt or something with it. But that just goes to show you, people just, sometimes it's probably not even the fragrance, just the girl thinks you're cool, dude. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, I know I was wearing tobacco, but sometimes when you wear a fragrance that smells really good, and a lot of these really sweet ones, like it's like in my fucking eyes, dude. Like I just wear tobacco beneath some, and maybe it's because like my hands and my arm just smelling myself throughout the day. It's like it's in my eyes, and then you like close your eyes, dude, and it's like okay, the smell is already so comfortable and so fucking relaxing that you just want to like get with yourself or something, dude. And then you close your eyes, and it's in your eyes, and your body just like gives up to the smell. It's like, dude, I just smell so good, like don't even move. Like you're just stay in my bubble, dude. Anyway, dude. Yeah, so not the best masculine fragrance thing ever, but I gotta switch it up, dude, because people love these fucking bullshit top 10 lists where they just list the same thing every fucking time, right, dude? So anyway, in general, that's my thing. Again, there's a lot of masculine shit you could wear. If you wanted me to really give a bullshit one, you know what I mean? I could have listed shit like Fahrenheit and, say the Agua de Giro Profumo, the black one is a good, you know, masculine kind of vibe. Actually, I did forget. The Acqua di Gio, Giorgio Armani Code Profumo. I think if you're looking for a good, like some people talk about them as clubbing scents, you know what I mean? Things like 1 Million, Versace Eros, etc. I think the Armani Code Profumo would be a good one for that. And even I just wear that casually, and that is another one that I've gotten a lot of compliments in one day on. And I feel like anything with leather kind of makes you feel a little bit more masculine, right? So kind of bullshit, but kind of a bullshit list in general, dude. But that's my opinion. So if you like sweet fragrances, but you want a potentially masculine touch, maybe check those fragrances out. Is basically what this list should have been named. But yeah, fragrance wise, not too sure. And a new fragrance that I thought smelled pretty good. You know, so I don't want to get to a review of it, dude. So I may as well kill two birds with one stone. I actually did like the, what was it called? The Salvatore Ferragamo Lumo. Is it called Intense or Signature, whatever the fuck it is? The new black one. I've said this before. Even as a fan of sweet fragrances, I wasn't that super horny about the last one because I thought it smelled kind of synthetic. And it's like I already have so many sweet fragrances, but the newer one, you know what I mean? It's got a bit of a thicker thing, a little bit more rough, you know what I mean? So I could see that being a little bit more potentially sexy and masculine too. I got to try it out a little bit, but I actually like that one more than the original. I think that's something I would probably wear a little bit more. But yeah, so those are some masculine fragrances for dudes that don't really wear super masculine fragrances, dude. The end.